What's up? It's draft season. We're drafting tonight a real fantasy team, not mock drafts anymore. This is the real thing. We did this on Tuesday. Had a couple auto drafters kind of ruined it. Last night, Pierre did it. It went awesome. Now it's my turn. This is the same format. We've got a one QB, two running back, three wide receiver, one tight end, one flex, full PPR, six bench spots. Everybody is on. Everybody is ready to go. Really quick, before I hit that start button, I want to let you know if you want to get in these drafts, we have two more drafts left on Wednesday and Thursday next week that still have spots available for members of Flock Fantasy. If you go to flockfantasy.com/endgame, you use promo code endgame, even though I just said it, and subscribe to any membership level, monthly, yearly, whatever you want to do, then shoot me a DM on Discord. I will get you access to those leagues. We got a few spots left in them. So if you want to get in one of these, this is your last chance. But anyways, that's not why you're here. You're here to see a draft. Let's go. We are starting the draft. John Juan on the clock at the 101. See if we get any early spiciness here. I got the 3 tonight. I had the 11 on Tuesday, which I'm actually going to hold on. I'm going to change the draft settings a little bit. I'm going to increase the timer to 2 minutes since it's a real draft. All right, there we go. Okay, so 2 minute timer, real draft. I don't want people to, have to panic pick or anything like that. I'm more than happy to get Tyreek at the 3. Tyreek is going to break fantasy football this year. I really believe that. So happy with that start there. Chase Jefferson, kind of like, most people go Jefferson then Chase, but I'm okay with Chase over Jefferson. Now we got spicy Roberto on the clock. I think Roberto had the 4 pick on Tuesday too, 4 or 5. So almost the same draft for him. Tonight, we'll see what happens here. All right, Clayton, you keep asking this question. Is there another league with both of you in it? No. I mean, yes, there is. On Tuesday, our $25 buy-in public league, but it's already full. So, yes, there is another league with both of us, but it's already full. Michael saying he took Hill at 3 on Tuesday. Yeah, it's Jefferson, Chase, Hill. That's my top 3. That's my top 3 for sure. All right, so Roberto really milking this. Tough decision here. Tough decision. Seth saying, what's up, Seth? Really going to be relying on you guys this season. Not near enough free time to make the moves I did last year. Well, that's why we're here to help get you that championship. CeeDee Lamb. All right. I mean, I like CeeDee Lamb. That is definitely a spicy pick. I think it's a little spicy. Say a little spicy. Cup at the 5. That's nice. Cup saying today that he expects to play week 1. Back at practice, should be good to go. They're saying Matthew Stafford looks healthy. Definitely like Cup there. All right, there's our first running back, Christian McCaffrey. And then Bijan right after him for Anthony. Kelsey, all right. Ronnie, okay, there's our third running back, Ronnie with Eckler. Now, I got to give a shout out here to The Catch. John, our fantastic editor in this draft at the 10. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, The Catch, go check it out. I think he mock drafts like 5 times a day. So if you want to see if you want to see mock drafts, all different formats, he does like 8-team, 10-team, 12-team, all different formats. Absolutely go check him out. The Catch here on YouTube. Takes AJ Brown there. I like it. All right, let's see if we can help some people out here a little bit. Okay, so since these people have been picked, Marcos, half PPR, 12 team chaser, CMC. I think in half PPR, I could make a case for CMC, but I'm still not doing it. Chase has just incredible upside, even in half PPR. I still would rather have Chase slightly over CMC, even in half PPR. All right, Keith, at the turn there goes Diggs, Barkley. Nothing wrong with that at all. Diggs at the 12. That might be that might be the lowest I've seen Diggs. That's pretty crazy. Diggs usually goes in the middle-ish of the first round. So getting Diggs at the 12 there, that's really good for Keith. Nice start. Hey, Lizard King got my start from Tuesday. Same Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson. I like it. In the same spot at the 11. I like it. All right, NMB 12-team Superflex redraft. Hurts, J.K. Dobbins, Zach Charbonnet, Waddle, Cooper, Godwin, Kincaid, Deontay, Josh Allen. All right, well, you got two. Wow, how'd you get Hurts and Josh Allen in Superflex? Wow. Bench, I'm going to guess Kirk Cousins, Elijah Moore, Devon Shane, Rashawn Dell, etc. Moves do I make? I mean, yeah, I think certainly I would like, even though I do like Charbonnet this year, I wouldn't want to be relying on Charbonnet right now early in the season as my RB2. Maybe a chain will be okay. I don't think Rashawn is going to give you a lot of value early in the season either. So I would certainly be going to the waiver wire, but I mean, there's probably not much on the waiver wire. But I mean, man, you got Hurts and Josh Allen in the super flex. That's pretty insane. So just I would just be working that waiver wire hard for that RB2. Really work that waiver wire. But even with Charb as your RB2, I mean, you might be okay just because you got Allen and Hurts. All right, guys. Travis Etienne gracing us with his presence. And he's in a non-PPR league. Why would you play non-PPR? And also, I think you misspelled your own last name. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure there's only one T. But anyways, in a non-PPR league at the 7, who should I take? I would say you're either taking Travis Kelce if he's still there, or the best available running back. I don't care. The best available running back. It's non-PPR. It's skewed heavily towards running backs. I think if I remember correctly, I looked at this. Justin Jefferson averaged 14 points per game in non-PPR. Like, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I think I could make a case for Kelce there if I didn't love the running backs and he was still on the board, just to have that positional advantage at tight end, or I'm just going best running back available, whoever that is. I don't play in standard. I don't know the ADP for standard. It's probably going to be like, I don't know, Tony Pollard, maybe Derrick Henry, probably not in standard though. I don't know. Whoever the best running back is. All right, I gotta actually. This was a lot easier when Pierre was here. I got to get caught up on who's been drafted, who's still available, who's not available, because my pick is coming up. All right, so where are we at here? All right, we did have. Bear with me, guys. I am updating since I can't really set my queue here. CMC, Bijan, Eckler, Barkley, Henry. And then, of course, Kelce. All right, I think I am caught up. All right, so definitely a different draft than Tuesday, much more wide receiver heavy than Tuesday, although it helps that the number 12 team isn't just auto drafting a bunch of running backs. Oh, Roberto. I was like, man, am I really going to get Tony Pollard here? Too good to be true. Too good to be true. Good pick. Good pick, Roberto. All right, that's okay because there's a wide receiver I love here that I will take instead. So Scott Miller, Eckler, or Hill at 4. Well, I just answered that question for you because at the 3, I took Tyreek Hill. I'm assuming it's some kind of PPR, but I mean, I guess standard probably hurts Eckler a little bit, although he did score a ton of touchdowns, so maybe not. But I really think we're going to see. I think there's at least a potential for Tyreek Hill to have an absolute generational season this year. I mean, he averaged 23 points per game in the games with Tua last year, and even with the backups, he was still really good. So, yeah, I think Tyreek Hill has a chance to do something really incredible this year. So I'm going Tyreek Hill. Actually, I don't want to answer this yet because he has not been picked. All right, Chubb. What's up, Andrea? Good to see you. So Michael's saying with actually, yeah, okay, so T's been big. With Burrow missing a decent amount of time, Chase not only takes a hit, doesn't that make Higgins less valuable compared to where he's being drafted? Burrow's going to be out there week 1. I'm not worried about Burrow at all. He's going to be out there week 1. He's going to be fine. Yeah, I'm not worried about Burrow at all. I'm a little nervous for Higgins. I still think Higgins will be really good. I don't know if I would take him where other John took him. I think that might be a little high for him. I like Higgins more in the 3rd, but I still think Higgins will be very good. But yeah, Burrow's not going to miss any time. He's going to be fine. He'll be out there week 1. Not even worried about it at all, to be honest. Cooper for Gibbs. Oh wait, hold on. They haven't been. Sorry, trying not to. Well, I guess in your case, because we looked at your team. Let me go back to your team here, your Superflex team. Waddle, Cooper, Godwin, Deontay, and you said that's Christian Kirk. I mean, I do really like Cooper. Okay, Cooper got picked. I do really like Cooper this year. And we did get this question from It's Cryptic. Do you think Amari Cooper has a good chance of being top 12 wide receiver this season? I don't know what you mean necessarily by good chance, but I definitely think he has a chance. All right, I'm gonna take. I know he went later in our draft on Tuesday, but I still think this is too low. I'm gonna take the JT discount here. He's gonna either get traded or play for the Colts. I'm gonna go take the JT discount. So NMB, back to your question. I think you're good enough at wide receiver though. I would do it. I would trade Cooper for Gibbs based on your team. No, Burrow probably not going to miss any time. Not going to miss any time. No. I don't think he's going to miss any time. Olave. So Enlo says Olave going before Devontae Adams. Sheesh, the disrespect. Maybe we'll see at the end of the season. I think it's okay personally. Remember, Olave now has Adams as quarterback, and Adams now has Jimmy G. So, and also Adams, 31 years old. Look, he was great last year, but I personally would go Olave. Clayton's saying he has a gut feeling Pollard is going to disappoint. Can't go. Never go against your gut. Keith, how do I attack a 12-man non-PPR but 3 wide receiver league? I still just hammer running backs early, at least for the first 3 rounds. I don't care. I played in standard. My home league was standard for like the first few years. It's not like wide receivers are useless, but they pretty much need a touchdown, right? Because think about a wide receiver who catches, 7 passes for 85 yards. That's an incredible game, right? There's not a lot of wide receivers that do that on a weekly basis. That's 8 points. That's it. 8 points. A running back falls into the end zone one time and gets 6. Like, yeah, I'm still attacking running back early and just figuring out wide receiver later. Look for wide receivers who have touchdown potential. Don't worry about guys like I wouldn't probably be drafting, even though I do think Amon-Ra St. Brown will score more touchdowns this year. I probably wouldn't be drafting him as high because he's probably not going to be a big touchdown guy. Try to look for the guys that get more of the touchdowns. We made it. We have bots. Yes. Actually, I can't. I'll give you my thoughts on Godwin after he is picked. I don't want to talk about players before they're picked. 2 boys and their scary pops. What's up? I think I remember you guys from last year. I remember that name. What is that? Soda? What is that? All right, keep one. Diggs, Eckler, or Pollard. It's close for me between Diggs and Eckler. I think I'm probably going to lean Eckler simply because there's just not as many early round running backs that I feel great about. And I feel like if you're picking 5th, so you're saying you're picking 5th, you could still get a wide. You might even be able to draft Stephon Diggs. Honestly, you might still get Stephon Diggs. Whereas I don't know, in a lot of home leagues, Austin Eckler is going top 5. So I would keep Eckler and then hope to get Diggs or maybe somebody like AJ Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb or somebody like that. So I'm keeping Eckler. All right, we got a little bit of a QB run there. So the big 3 QBs went off the board. We got another tight end with Andrews. This is an interesting spot for Keith here. Paper, what's up? Asking if my flock rankings are updated. I actually updated them today. So yes, they are. They are updated as of today. Go check them out at flockfantasy.com. So getting a lot of comments about Watson in the 3rd. This is actually pretty standard in most leagues, maybe early 4th. It's I would say it's pretty standard in most home leagues. Like when I look at the ESPN and the Yahoo ADP, he's definitely a lot lower. But in most best ball drafts, expert top type drafts, this is about where he goes. Maybe a little later than the 3-6, but he generally goes late 3rd, early 4th. All right, so all these people have been drafted. So which star would you prefer full PPR? Chase, Waddle, and Gibbs, Oh, definitely Chase, Waddle, and Gibbs. I mean, Chase. I think Chase can be better than CMC, or at least close. You got Waddle in both. I mean, okay, maybe, maybe I spoke too soon. But you need a running back. So basically, you're upgrading Smith to Chase, but you're downgrading Gibbs to CMC. I still take the Chase Waddle Gibbs side. I think Gibbs is a guy who can get 80 plus catches in PPR. That's a monster. I'll take his side. All right. So Keith went Lamar, Godwin. So now I can go back to NMB's question about Godwin. So NMB asked, where was it? Thoughts on Godwin? A little worried he won't get the same volume. I think he'll probably be pretty similar to what he was last year. I mean, probably not the same volume because they're not going to throw as much without Tom Brady. But got a quarterback that really can't throw it deep well at all. I think he'll be pretty similar to last year. I think I was wondering when Josh Jacobs was going to go. That could be an incredible steal right there in the 4th round. That could be a huge steal. But back to Godwin, I think he'll have a decent weekly floor. I just don't think he's going to have a huge ceiling this week. Can't expect a lot of touchdowns. Can't expect huge yardage. He'll be better. His yards after catch will be better because he's fully recovered from the ACL now. I think that did affect him last year. But yeah, I think has a decent floor, but not necessarily a huge weekly ceiling. That's my feelings. So Kenny asking, do you prefer Waddle or Olave full PPR? This one's very close for me. I can go either way on this. Oh man, it's trying to. I think I have Waddle ranked literally once. I mean, I think I have Olave ranked one spot higher, literally just one spot higher. It's one of those that can go either way for me. I don't have a strong opinion like that one guy is going to outscore the other. So very, very close. So speaking of Christian Watson, what do you think about him this year? I like him a lot. I think he's going to be great. I'm not worried about Jordan Love. Christian Watson isn't the type of guy that needs, pinpoint accuracy and a ton of targets. Just get him the ball, let him do his thing. They got Dobbs, second-year player. They got Reed, a rookie. They got Musgrave, a rookie. I think he'll do great this year, personally. Yeah, Bland is a good point. Adams and Jacobs on his team. You need Jimmy G to play as well as he looks, and you need Josh Jacobs just to play. You just need Josh Jacobs to play. He's got to play. That's you might maybe just wait on QB and grab Jimmy G late, and you can just be like the Raiders. Drake London, I wouldn't. I think that's great. Drake London at the 4-4, that's ridiculous. That's fantastic. I mean, we saw that. I mean, I know it's a preseason game, but look, they played against the Bengals starting defense. The Bengals had their starting defense out there. Desmond Ridder went 7 for 9 yards. On those 9 targets, Drake London got 3 of them. That's a 33% target share. He's gonna be great. He's a phenomenal player, phenomenal wide receiver. All right, let's go. Well, with this toe for Terry. Go Kirk here. All right, that's a good question. What team do you think comes out of the gate surprising? Well, I've talked about the Falcons a lot this year. I think they're going to surprise. I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better than people think. I really think those two teams surprise people. And I think people are going to be surprised. I think the Ravens as well. People are going to be surprised at what we see from this Ravens offense. They're going to be like, wait a minute, this is not the Ravens offense. All right. I was going to take Etienne if he made it back to me. Obviously, he did not. I mean, oh, man. I feel like I'm gonna have to reach here. So I feel like I feel like a lot of these players are not gonna make it back to me if I don't take them here. Hmm. Now it's just which one do I want? I got a minute. Yeah, because I don't think any of these players are gonna make it back that I'm looking at here. Man. All right. That was tough because there's a lot of wide receivers I want to take right here. And I just don't think they're making it back to me. I don't think any of them are making it back to me. We'll see. Yeah, there's a best available. I mean, I can put it up, but pretty soon I'm gonna have to put it down because it's gonna block the board. But I'll leave it up there. But it's gonna block the board pretty soon, and then I'll be putting it down. What's up, Bartermania? Good to see you. All right, 0-2 mode. Let's go. Great content. Draft this Saturday. All right, man. Crush it. That was not even a consideration. Mixon was not even a consideration there. I will be honest. There's a bunch of wide receivers I was really looking at there. And I just know they're not going to make it back to me. And I was just trying to figure out which one I wanted to take. And I don't even know if this was the right pick. I agree. Hit that like button. I did not say I don't like Travis Etienne this year. I said I don't like Travis Etienne in the third. I think in the fourth he's totally fine. I I'm of the opinion that the Tank Bigsby hype is a little out of control. I'm not saying that like Tank Bigsby is going to do nothing. But I think Etienne is still a good enough runner. We could see 1,200, 1,300 rushing yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns, 30 to 40 catches, and in the fourth round, that's plenty, plenty. So had Etienne fallen to me, really it would have been the fifth round, right? Because he went at the end of the fourth, so it would have been the 5-3. I mean, in the fifth round, I'm smashing Etienne every time. All right, this is the big question. This is really the only thing about Tony Pollard. Like I'm not worried about Deuce Vaughn. Don't be shocked. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying don't be shocked if Deuce Vaughn's on the cut list because right now I think he's number 4 on the depth chart personally. I'm not worried about Malik Davis. I'm not worried about Rico. any of these guys behind Pollard. It's just a matter of can he hold up for 17 games. But look, Christian McCaffrey played 10 games over a 2-year stretch. Breece Hall tore his ACL as a rookie. Like, anybody, it can happen to any running back. So I think you got to gamble on him staying healthy. So Brian's saying, all you Mixon haters just wait top 10. I mean, look, I talked about this in the Discord this today. If he plays all 17 games, he probably will be a top 10 running back because that's literally how it works. Like, you play all 17 games and you're not completely horrible and you get like decent usage, you're going to be a top 10 running back. He was a top 10 running back last year, and I promise you, nobody who had Mixon felt like they had a top 10 running back. That's the problem. It's not like, I talk about this a lot. This isn't a game we play over the season. This is a game we play for 1 week against one opponent. And when your RB is giving you bad game after bad game after bad game, and then all of a sudden he gives you like one random incredible game and then bad game and then bad game, you don't feel like you're getting a top 10 running back, even if he finishes top 10 at the end of the season. That's my issue with Mixon. He could just outpoint. He's like a boxer who does just enough to win every round, and then win win like 7 of the 12 rounds, and then he wins the fight. But nobody felt like he dominated the fight or anything. That's kind of how I view Mixon. So I would agree with you on this if Mixon had ever in his life been efficient in the NFL. Mixon has low-key been one of the most inefficient runners in the NFL every year of his career. Like Joe Mixon, no joke, is Najee Harris level efficiency. The only difference is he's in an elite offense and he gets a workhorse role. 3.9 yards per carry last year, 4.1 the year before, 3.6 the year before, 4.1 the year before. He did have 4.9 his second year, 3.5 as a rookie. Like, he's been bad. He's been pretty bad his entire career, to be honest. He's been bad and inefficient. He just happens to play in one of the best offenses and gets the volume. So I don't think like it's an O-line problem. I really don't. And he's well over 1,500 touches now. He's old. Yeah. But anyways, I shouldn't be talking about Mixon. He hasn't been picked yet. Roberto already saying he's going to snipe me. Already. Almost a full round out saying he's going to snipe me. Who are you going to snipe me on? I don't even know. Who is there to snipe me on? I'm hoping one of these wide receivers I was thinking of taking last round make it back to me. We'll see. Yeah, I knew. See, I was thinking about Dotson. I was thinking about Addison. I knew they weren't going to make it back to me. Just knew they wouldn't make it. Kamara. So Terry going as his. Oof. I don't know how I feel about Terry as your wide receiver 2, given that he has turf toe. Might be a bit of a struggle early in the year there. Man, even Zay went. Yeah, I knew they would not make it back to me. I knew I had to pick the one. I knew I had to pick one of them. I need Kyler Murray back early in the season for Hollywood. I did ask one of the Cardinals beat writers that I follow about Murray. He feels like they're not going to put him on PUP, which is a good sign. Because remember, PUP is 4 weeks. So if they take him off PUP, so August 29th is the day. You got to decide who's going to start the season on PUP or not. If they take him off PUP, that means they feel like he's going to be ready, one of the first few weeks. So fingers crossed that he does not stay on PUP. Or I guess if you have been fading the Cardinals offense, even though they've been great values all offseason, you're crossing your fingers he does stay on PUP. All right. Man, you guys really are going to make me take him, aren't you? I mean, I definitely agree with this. I'd rather have the turf, because the turf toe, it's like, okay, you rest, it goes away, you're fine. It doesn't like linger as long as you let it. I remember Antonio Gibson a couple years ago kept trying to play through the turf toe, and he was awful. And they just that. I really hope they don't. I really hope they just let Terry get fully healthy, even if it means he misses. Even if it means he starts on PUP, he's got to miss the first 4 weeks. That's fine. Let him get healthy. Because if he tries to play through that turf toe, that could impact him, all year long. So I really hope they just let him get healthy. All right, Roberto, time for you to snipe me. Let's see what you do. Let's see how you snipe me here. Okay, so he's saying, so he actually got sniped. That's what you get for saying you're going to snipe me early. You got sniped on Elijah Moore. He was going to take Elijah Moore. So he got sniped. I don't think MT's original injury was a turf toe. I think it was originally an ankle, and then it morphed into some kind of toe thing that morphed into who knows what. I don't even know. Who knows? Has he even gotten over that yet? Is he still recovering from that? I mean, he came back last year, played 3 games, and then missed the rest of the season. Like, is he still recovering from that? Computer Kid asking what defense do you think are going to be? If you're talking about for fantasy, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't play in any defense leagues. And if I do, I just stream defense. But in real life, I mean, obviously the 49ers are going to have a great defense. Who else is going to have a really good defense? I think the Steelers are going to have an underrated defense. All right, hold on. We got to make a pick here. Oh, my gosh. All right, actually, you know what? I like this pick. I will happily take Sanders as my RB2. That works. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, Jets definitely going to have a great defense this year. For sure. Cowboys, I think, will be okay. But Jets, for sure. Who doesn't have none of my leagues have defenses. This league has no defense. Get rid of no defenses, no kickers. Get that noise out of here. Get it out of here. All right. So who do you feel gets it done and trades for JT? I mean, if I have to be like, if I was betting, if somebody was like telling me I had to bet on it, I would bet nobody trades for JT. It's very hard to make this trade because not only do you have to give the Colts whatever they're asking for JT, but then you have to get a commitment from JT that he's going to sign an extension. Otherwise, you're giving up all these picks for potentially a guy for 1 year. So, like, it's boring and not fun, but I would say probably nobody. But the Dolphins seem like the front runners at the moment, if it's going to happen. I need to fire whoever. Wow, this is a strong opinion about defenses and kickers. Literally the most frustrating positions. Got to fire. Well, I guess I got to fire myself because I made this league. I would say kickers are worse because It's been statistically proven that there is no correlation that can accurately predict a kicker on a weekly basis. They've done it. They've looked at everything like over, under, weather, dome, all this stuff. Nothing correlates to a kicker. It is blind luck. Defenses, at least you could say like, oh, they're playing, the Bucks this week against Baker Mayfield. He'll probably throw a couple picks and get sacked 5 times. So at least defenses, there's like some skill to it. There is no skill to kickers. There's no skill. Like the only skill for kickers might be I drafted Justin Tucker. That's the only skill for a kicker. All right. How are we looking here? Wow, you guys. All right, hold on. Do I like? I can wait there. I don't really love any of those guys. This is almost like you guys are daring me, but all right, let's try to catch up here. So we had Sanders, Swift, Hawkinson, Watson, Mike Evans. I took Rashad there. There's some interesting players on the board right now. I will say that. I won't go any farther than that, but I will say that. Roberto getting ready to make a spicy pick here. All right, he's got. Never mind. Sky Moore. I don't hate it. All right, so he's been okay. So paper asking if I'm drafting Cam Akers this year. Yes, I have him kind of in that same range around Miles Sanders, right in that range. Probably have him lower than those guys. Like I probably have him below, the Dobbins, the Sanders, the Rashad Whites, maybe even the Swifts. But yes, I am drafting Cam Akers this year if he falls far enough. He's not a guy I feel like I have to draft. There goes Mixon. I actually did consider him briefly over Rashad White. Briefly. I also considered James Cook, but I think I like White a little bit more. There's Judy. I was wondering when we were going to see Judy with that hamstring injury. So I just realized Bland, wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 might not even play to start the season. He says, let's go. We're punting the first couple weeks. You might be. You might be. I mean, Terry and Jeudy both in serious doubt to miss week 1. Jeudy's is the one I'm a little more worried about because it's soft tissue. It's the type of things that like can linger. He's had Jerry Jeudy's had so many injuries, man. So many injuries. Whew, we'll see how that works out. You're not kidding. This is the riskiest team of all time. It might be. You got Josh Jacobs, who hasn't even shown up to anything football related this entire season. Like Josh Jacobs hasn't even gone to like a team meeting yet. Then you got 2 injured wide receivers. This is definitely the riskiest team for sure. That Sutton pick could end up being pretty good, especially if Jeudy misses significant time. That could be a pretty good Sutton pick there from John. It could be Sutton season. I don't know if there's really. I don't know if any Broncos are gonna have a season this year. I mean, man, they have looked. Russ has looked no better this offseason than he did last year. That game against the Cardinals. First of all, we know the Cardinals are going to have one of the worst defenses in the league. He played the entire first half against second stringers, third stringers, looked just awful, had no time to throw. I'm really, really worried about this Broncos offense. I don't think Sean Payton can save Russ. But I do agree with this. I do think Sutton is getting overhated this year. Like, obviously here Jeudy and Sutton are closer because Jeudy just hurt his hamstring. But in most drafts, Jeudy goes in like round 4, and then Sutton goes in like round 8 or 9. That never made any sense to me. Joe asking, should I consider targeting Gibbs in a trade? Has Rachaad White, Akers, Pacheco, and Pirine. And then a wide receiver has Lamb, Wilson, Waddle, Ridley, Addison, Flowers. I mean, unless you're in like a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex league, you don't really need all those wide receivers. But you got a bunch of studs. But I also think you're okay at running back. Like I don't hate your running backs. I think with White, Akers, Pacheco, you should have 2 decent running backs every single week. So I'd probably stand pat. It's never a bad thing to have a ton of talent at a position, especially a wide receiver, where I'm guessing you probably start 3 and maybe flex 1, because you can easily survive bye weeks and injuries now. So I think you're good enough at running back. I wouldn't make that move. Oh, here's a bit of a bold take. Anthony's saying Sutton is going to have a great year this year. Not just a good year, a great year. I was also wondering when we would see JSN. Obviously, with the I'm not. I think of the guy. I'm not as worried about him as the other guys. It's a wrist. Like, yeah, you gotta let it heal. But once it's healed, he's fine. You don't have to worry about like he's not gonna start like not be able to catch. He's gonna be able to run fine. Like, he's the one I'm not as worried about between him, Jeudy, and McLaurin. Although I'm sure Bland was very disappointed JSN did not fall to him and he was not able to take him. Will Rachaad White be good this year? I think he will be. And we have a video coming out tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow where I talk about Rachaad White. So check it out. You can get my feelings on him. Oh, what? Now he's just trolling us. Now he's trolling us with the Kamara pick, who we know isn't playing for 3 weeks. Man, whoever gets to play Bland in weeks 1, 2, and 3, congrats. You've already won. You've already got a W. You've already got a W. Wow. I agree. 3 weeks is nothing to have him sit if he'll be good. Will he be good? Because he wasn't very good last year, and he got all the touches in that backfield. Now Jamal Williams is there. We know he's going to vulture touchdowns and Taysom Hill. So Kamara, we can't bank on touchdowns for Kamara. Like, is he going to suddenly go back to catching 80 passes? Probably not. Is he going to suddenly get hyper efficient at 28 years old with over 1,500 touches? Probably not. Kamara, another guy, his efficiency has just plummeted in his later years here. But Kamara was a guy who, for his career, 6.1, 4.6, 4.7, 5 yards per carry, and then 3.7 and 4 yards per carry the last 2 years. That just looks like, to me, an old running back losing the burst, losing the efficiency. So I do agree with you. If this was like Kamara 3 or 4 years ago, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't even care that he was missing 3 games. But this Kamara, I'm a little worried. Uh-oh. And we just got word that Michael Pittman just limped off the field. That could be bad for Roberto, who just drafted Pittman. And there is no takebacks, Roberto. Ooh, good pick there with Herbert. I was hoping he would make it back to me. Good pick there. Where's my partner in crime? He is at parent conference teacher thing tonight. Plus, we split some of these leagues. So his league was last night. If you missed it, it's on our YouTube channel. You can go check it out. And tonight is my league. We will be back together on Tuesday next week for the league we're both in. All right, let's take a look here. Multitasking here, answering questions, and oh man. Anthony asking about the available drafts for next week. I actually emailed you the links. I replied to your email with the links. Did you get those? If not, check your email. I sent you the links. Yes. I went Tyreek Hill the third. Why the shrug emoji? I'm not sure why the shrug emoji. I even put Tyreek Hill on the thumbnail because I knew I was picking third and I would probably get him. So I put him on the thumbnail. All right, since they've already been picked, Deontay Johnson or Christian Kirk. Well, I had this choice, and I went Christian Kirk. I think Deontay Johnson will be fine this year, but I think Christian Kirk has a much higher weekly ceiling, and that's what I care about, especially as my wide receiver three. I don't want like a 12 to 15 point wide receiver three. Give me the 7 to 25 point wide receiver three. And I know a lot of people don't like that. And they're like, oh, no, just give me the save 12 points. But is your wide receiver three? Like a 15-point Deontay Johnson game is your wide receiver three is not winning you your week. It's not losing it, but it's not winning it. A 25-point Christian Kirk week as your wide receiver three, you win. Unless the rest of your team bombs. But assuming the rest of your team is good, you win. You just won that matchup. On to the next week. Don't have to worry about it. So I would rather chase that weekly ceiling with Kirk personally. But that's my style. That's how I play. All right. Well, I mean, hmm. All right. Let's see here. I don't think I have to go. Man, am I buying the hype? I think I might be buying the hype, guys. I might be buying the hype. At least buying the hype at this point of the draft. I mean, they're definitely gonna throw the ball. They're definitely gonna throw the ball. Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, they're definitely going to throw the ball. Love Khalil Herbert and really, really, really was hoping he would drop him to me. I would have definitely taken him over Charbonnet. Yeah, I can't have the all Jaguars team. But honestly, I mean, I'm still not like I'm not as sold as a lot of people on Darren Waller because what he's done in the preseason, but I think at this point in the draft, he'll at least be a set and forget tight end. And I don't necessarily love any of the running backs on the board. There's running backs I like, there's wide receivers I like, but I don't love them. So I went with him here. And then I'm glad I did because Clayton's saying he would have went Waller if I didn't, so that's good to know. All right, glad you got it figured out, Anthony. That's good. Make sure, Anthony, you join the sleeper leagues. Those should go to your email as well. You should get an email link for the sleeper leagues. If for some reason you don't get the links to the sleeper leagues, let me know. I can get them to you, but you should get them in your email as well. All right. Well, since Deshaun Watson has been picked, I know you like Amari Cooper, but not. But Sean definitely liked Deshaun Watson a lot this year. Had Deshaun Watson made it back to me where I took Rachaad White, I probably would have taken him. I really feel like Deshaun Watson has a chance to be great this year. Like people just forget that he was awesome in Houston because he was so bad last year. But I mean, we knew he was going to be bad last year. So I think he bounces back big time. I like Deshaun Watson a lot this year. Yeah, so that's good value for Darren Waller, even if he just performs at a normal level. Exactly. I'm not. I know a lot of people have Darren Waller. Like they're taking Darren Waller, ahead of guys like Kittle, Goddard, Pitts, and stuff. They're like all in on Darren Waller. I'm not quite to that level yet, but at this point in the draft, he's a set and forget tight end. I'll take that. It's no fun streaming tight end. Oh, nice joke, Anthony. So you're saying that Watson will have a happy ending? I think so. I think he'll have a happy ending this year. Yes. Okay, by the way, if you guys are asking questions about players that have not been picked yet, I will not be answering them. I don't want to sway anybody's draft decisions by talking about players who have not been picked. So if you're asking about them and I haven't answered, that's why. Because they just haven't been picked yet. When they get picked, I will try to get back to your question. All right, well, here goes the tight end run. All right, well, these guys have been picked. Walker, Sanders, or Rashad White. I probably have them in that exact order. Although you could talk me into White over Sanders in full PPR. But that's probably the order I have them in. Clayton already wants to talk a trade for JT. I'm always open to talking trades. Always open to talking trades. That's the best part about fantasy football. I don't understand leagues where people don't trade. Like I'll play in these leagues with my friends, and we'll send out like trade offers to half the league, and they won't even respond. And like I don't send out. I mean, okay, maybe some. I'm sure I've sent Keith some crappy trades in Dynasty, but I feel like I send out pretty fair trades. Like I oftentimes try to send out trades that are a little more like. So this is like a little pro tip for you. If there's a player you really want and they're going to be a true difference maker for your team, like they're going to put you over the hump, it's okay to overpay for them. You don't have to win every trade because, like, if you overpay for that player, but they turn your team into a championship team, guess who won the trade? You did. You won the trade, not the other guy. You won the trade because you won the league. So I will quite often send trades where I feel like I'm overpaying for the player to get the people to accept the trades, and then they don't even respond. Like they don't even like reject it. They just like nothing. It just sits there all week, and then I cancel it at the end of the week. It's really annoying. Oh, Keith with the Dalvin Cook, Michael Thomas, back to back. We got a believer. What round is that for Michael Thomas? 10. I think he went earlier. Did he go earlier on Tuesday or last night? When did he go? I think we've seen him earlier than that, right? I think we've seen him earlier than 10. I don't think that's the earliest. Yeah, definitely the MT believer. Look, I think Keith actually is an MT believer. I think he's drafted him in a lot of our mock drafts. So I think he actually is an MT believer. At least as much of an MT believer as somebody could be. Computer Kid is not an MT believer, apparently. Definitely not an MT believer. Oh, good Nico pick. I was hoping he'd make it back to me. Oh, Roberto's saying spicy picking coming, but I was actually considering Bateman there. Well, that changes things a little bit. Because, man, Hmm. I mean, the Saints schedule's super soft. Saints wide receiver schedule super soft. That's great for Chris Olave, but you got to be on the field to take advantage of the super soft schedule. So, yeah. Look, maybe somehow 31-year-old Michael Thomas or 30-year-old Michael Thomas, whatever he is, who hasn't been relevant in 4 years, maybe it happens. It would be like that would have to be the only time in NFL history that a 30 plus year old player who has done nothing for 4 years becomes relevant. And maybe Michael Thomas will be that guy. I assume is this John? What's up, John? I recognize your picture there. Drafting from the 10. Go check him out. The Catch. What's up, John? Oh, come on, computer kid. You don't know who Jalen Warren is? Are you serious? Took a creative player. Doesn't know who Jalen Warren is. All right. All right, we're getting down to the last few rounds here. I definitely wanted to lock up Richardson there. Not want to gamble on him getting taken by Lizard King before it came back to me. So John saying Saturday didn't get DJ Moore in the fourth. I feel like I couldn't pass up Gibbs in the third, though. The thing is, I wonder if, but this is the advantage because we draft with these guys all year, all off season. I wonder if I kind of wonder if Gibbs would have made it back to you. I don't think Keith would have taken Gibbs. He already had Barkley. So really would Lizard King have taken Gibbs? But obviously you don't know that because you don't draft with these guys. But I have a feeling if you had taken DJ Moore there, you would have gotten Gibbs in the fourth. We'll never know, but I think maybe Lizard King, if he's listening, he can let us know if he would have taken. Had DJ Moore gotten taken, Lizard King, would you have taken Gibbs with one of your two picks? All right, this is interesting. Roberto's saying he was going to pick DJ Moore at the 304, but instead he picked Stevenson. Okay. Like, this isn't like me saying I was going to pick Rashad Bateman and then you snipe me. This is like you saying, like, I was going to pick DJ Moore, but then instead I picked Stevenson. Uh-oh. Clayton's got a tough decision here. I thought about Mooney where I took Warren. I did think about him. Did think about him. Not gonna lie. This is what I like to hear. And by the way, so Computer Kid, you keep asking me about Richardson. I love Richardson as a late round pick for this exact reason right here. Running all over the field. I don't care about his passing. Don't even talk to me about his passing. Justin Fields had 2,200 yards and 17 touchdowns last year. And he missed 2 games. And he was still a top 5 quarterback. This is what I want to see. I just want to see Richardson running all over the field. That's all I want to see. And handing off to Jonathan Taylor, assuming he's still a Colt because I just drafted him. That's all I want to see. What's he doing? Let's take a look. What is Anthony Richardson doing right now? I mean, I know it's a preseason and the Eagles aren't playing their starters. He's got 3 carries for 34 yards. He's also 6 for 11 for 78 yards. But again, it's preseason. It's not against the starters. So, but that's why I'm drafting Anthony Richardson, so he can run all over the field. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these picks here are tough decisions now. They're tough decisions now. There's no like clear answers. There's no like, oh, this guy is way ahead of this guy. It's like, no, there's no clear answers anymore. All right, so it looks like week 1, Bland, King of the World, will be starting Adams, Dobbs, not Jameson. I missed the fact that he took Jameson, who's suspended for 6 games. So it looks like week 1, Bland's wide receivers will be Adams, Dobbs, and Lazard. And he still does not have a flex for week 1 because this is a 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league. And that even assumes Jacobs plays. If Jacobs plays, he doesn't even have an RB2 for week 1. Man. This is rough. This is a potential rough start to the season for Bland. NMB asking what running back you think I can get by trading Deontay Johnson. You're probably looking at guys like Akers, Madison, Pierce, Sanders, White, Connor, Mixon, Monty, James Cook. Guys in like that range. This is actually a good point. I'm fine going 0-3 to start the season if I can get a good playoff team going. Especially now, I mean, the best I ever came back from was 1-5. I came back from 1-5, and this is back when it was only a 16-game season, so you only had 13 weeks for the fantasy playoffs. So we only had 7 weeks left, and I was 1-5. I won out the rest of the way, all the way up to the finals. Then I lost in the finals. But most of my best teams have started slow. It seems like whenever I have a team that like I draft this awesome team, something happens like down the stretch or in the playoffs and it goes to crap. So you're probably not as much of a believer. I would honestly take Shaheed over Michael Thomas. I was really hoping Shaheed would make it back to me. I would take Shaheed over Michael Thomas every time, personally. I think Shaheed's going to be the wide receiver too. I mean, this is crazy. 1-7. How do you come back from 1-7? That's insane. But the begin. I mean, the early part of the season has never really mattered as much as people think it does. Like people are always like, "Oh, he might miss like 2 weeks. I can't draft him." Um, but now with the 17 games, now you have 14 game regular season. It even matters less. Michael asking trade opinion: Rachaad White for Mike Williams. I want Mike Williams. I would prefer Mike Williams. And I like Rachaad White, but I would still prefer Mike Williams. All right, we got a Zeke believer. John is a Zeke believer. We got a Zeke believer. Kendra Miller is interesting. I don't know how to feel about Kendra Miller right now. I don't know how to feel about players on the board right now either. Obviously, I don't need a QB. All right, let's get some wide receiver depth here because I don't really have any. I have 4 really good ones, but then I don't really have any depth. And as long as JT plays, which I think he will, I feel good at running back. Like between Miles Sanders, Rachaad White is my RB2. Should be good there. Charbs, Warren, good handcuffs. Royland must just be joining. You took Waller. Yeah, I talked about it when I took him. I'm not fully buying the Waller hype like a lot of people who have him above like every tight end not named Kelsey and Andrews and maybe Hawkinson. But I think at this spot here, I think he'll be involved enough to at least be a set and forget tight end. I don't think he's going to be like incredible. Like a lot of people think he's going to be like awesome this year. I don't think so. But I think he's a set and forget tight end. And I didn't want to wait. And as you can see, had I not taken him, I would not have a good tight end because Njoku, Freiermuth, and Ingram went that same round. So all right, so what do I think over Mingo? I think Mingo is pretty good. I don't like the fact that it sounds like Thielen right now is the slot wide receiver. I would prefer Mingo in the slot. I think he could be a good big slot wide receiver. But look, Adam Thielen is complete dust. He was awful last year. He was awful the year before in one of the past heaviest offenses. I'm hoping it's kind of like on the Amon-Ra St. Brown thing where they eventually figure out like, okay, we need to put this guy in the slot and just put, Thielen outside because he's terrible anyway, so who cares? So, I don't love Mingo this year, but I think as a late round dart throw, he's fine. Also, with the Judy injury, this guy might be pretty good now, too. I do still really like Njoku, but I have had to move Waller up over those guys now because it does look like, if nothing else, he's going to get the targets necessary. Like I said, I don't think Waller is going to have a massive weekly ceiling. Like, I don't think Waller is going to have huge. Like, he'll score some touchdowns and then he'll have a nice ceiling, but I don't think he's going to have like those huge games. But at this point in the draft, he's a set and forget, pretty low risk tight end. I went with it. There's my thought process for you. All right, coming down to the last picks here. Getting some handcuff running backs. I sniped Clayton on Mims. He really wanted Mims. Look, Mims has been getting good buzz in camp. They traded up into the second round to draft him. Remember, they only had like 3 draft picks this year, and they used one of those picks to trade up to get Mims. We know Sutton's going to be the X with Judy out. No Tim Patrick. KJ Hamler can't stay healthy. Mims could be in that flanker role for however long Judy's out. It could be good for him. Could be really good for him. Could also do nothing. He's a rookie, so, But I think at this point, I need some wide receiver depth. I need some upside. I like his chances. Puka, there we go. Puka. That Gainwell pick could be good. We're hearing a lot of buzz that he could be the starter. I'm not sure I buy it, but he could be involved. All right, this is a good question. Any idea? This is why I have not been drafting Dalvin Cook, even though it seems like he's a value. What the Hall Cook rotation will be like? Well, early in the season, it's going to be mostly Dalvin Cook. The Jets are rightfully bringing back Breece Hall slowly. He's their franchise running back, and they know this. They paid Dalvin Cook, even though it was a 1-year deal, is getting the most money of any free agent running back that signed this year on a per year basis. They're not paying Dalvin Cook just so they can like slow play Breece Hall and then have Dalvin Cook sit on the bench. I think as the season goes on, it'll become closer to a 50-50. I could see eventually maybe Hall being, the quote unquote lead back, but it's not going to be more than like a 60-40, 55-45 probably, in my opinion. So I'm just kind of avoiding both of them, to be honest. Also, so Keith saying he's skipping tight end with a chance he could get the Colts starter with Evan Hull and Deion Jackson. Don't know who it would be yet. So Keith going with the very rare but not bad 0 tight end strategy. It's not a bad idea to skip tight end this far out from the season. You can always grab one off waiver wire before the first game. So Keith, no tight end in this draft. Anthony has a different opinion. The Jets are going to run Cook into the ground this year. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that it's a 1-year deal. Why not? Why not run Cook into the ground? So I guess it wouldn't completely surprise me. And this wouldn't surprise me either if they slow play Hall all season and keep him fresh for the playoffs, for the down the stretch and for the playoffs. That wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, like I said, they're paying Dalvin Cook by running back terms. Like Dalvin Cook almost is getting the same amount of money as Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. Well, if Josh Jacobs signed his franchise tender, he's getting almost the same amount of money as those guys. So he's getting paid big money, and the Jets willingly paid him that money. Yeah, I agree with this. All the tight ends are about the same. Just, hey, look, if JT gets traded and then it's Evan Hull or Deion Jackson, you drop the other guy, you pick up a tight end. Nothing wrong with that. Roberto's saying buy low by week 3 for Hall. I don't know about week 3, but I could see him being a buy low
come on,
towards the end of the season. If he starts to look healthier and healthier and separates from Cook. Week 3 feels early, man, early. Like maybe I could get behind week 3 if they had not gone out and signed Dalvin Cook. All right, coming down to the last picks, we had Ronnie took CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's a believer, or might have just been an auto pick. John backed up Dak with Kyler. It's not a bad strategy because he can throw Kyler onto IR and then go pick somebody up. Not a bad idea. And I do think we see Kyler much earlier this year than a lot of people believe we will. All right, so let's check in on Bland's team. He's going to be starting Adams, Dobbs, and Lazard as his 3 wide receivers in the early weeks. He's going to be hopefully starting Jacobs and Kenneth Walker at running back. And as of now, he's going to be flexing Harris or Hodgins. But maybe he'll be flexing whoever he takes here. Yeah, this is actually a good point. He's saying he did it yesterday. So for those of you who haven't drafted yet, if you have IR spots, it's not a bad idea to take a guy like Kyler or somebody else who might be on IR by the time you draft. Like let's say I don't know, somebody else who's on IR. It's not a bad idea to draft them in the last round, like John did here with Kyler. Throw him into your IR slot, and then you go pick somebody up. All right, Bland goes with Curtis Samuel for his last pick. Whew. So the Terry McLaurin handcuff. It's going with the little known strategy of the last round wide receiver handcuff. We'll see how it works out. Oh man, I almost took him last round. I kind of do need. Is there any running backs I love here? Kind of like him. Him or him? Him or him? Him or him? Or him? Such a tough last pick. There's 3 guys I like. What does my team really need? I got JT Sanders. I feel like I'm okay at running back. I feel like my wide receiver is like Mingo Mims. I feel like I need a little more help at wide receiver. All right, let's go here. See what he can do. All right, we got a hot take. Howell finishes top 12. It's just preseason, but he looks good. He does, but it is just preseason. Top 12 definitely is a hot take. All right, here comes the last pick of the draft. Mr. Irrelevant. Who's it going to be from Sean? Dalton Schultz to back up TJ Hawkinson. All right, guys, there you go. There is the draft. Appreciate you guys being on here. Appreciate everyone who drafted. Let's have some fun this season. Don't forget, if you want to get in these leagues, we have 2 left. One draft's Wednesday with Pierre. One draft's Thursday with me next week. If you want to get in with them, you see it there down below. I'll also pin, well, it's also a pinned chat with the link, but you go to flockfantasy.com. You sign up to any membership, monthly, yearly, any level. Use code ENDGAME. DM me on Discord. Send me a DM. Say, hey, I signed up. I'll get you the link. It is a $10 buy-in, but that's because we want people to actually play. And then you're in, and you can draft with us next week. So we got 3 more drafts to go. We got one on Tuesday. That's our Endgame $25 buy-in public league. That's going to be awesome. Pierre and I will be in it. Then, like I said, Pierre on Wednesday, myself on Thursday. Don't forget our videos. Check it out. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button. All that stuff. Fantasy football is here. The season is here, guys. Have a great night. I'll see you next time.